Chapter 1. The morning routine. The school drop-off had become a comforting routine for me. Every morning, I'd walk my daughter, Lily, to her classroom, share a quick hug, and watch her disappear into the sea of backpacks and chatter. It was one of the few constants in my life after the divorce, a moment of peace in an otherwise chaotic world. But that morning was different. As I pulled into the parking lot, I noticed a sleek black car parked conspicuously near the entrance. Standing beside it were two figures I hadn't seen in years. My ex-wife, Amanda, and her new husband, Greg. They spotted me immediately, their faces lighting up with smug smiles. Greg leaned casually against the car, his arm draped possessively around Amanda's shoulders. It was clear they were waiting for me. Chapter 2. The ambush. As I stepped out of the car, they approached, their confidence radiating like a spotlight. Well, Greg said, his voice dripping with mockery. Who's still playing the role of the struggling single dad? Amanda chuckled, her eyes scanning me with a mix of pity and amusement. We just thought we'd stop by and see how you're holding up, she said, her tone insincere. I clenched my jaw, refusing to rise to their bait. I'm here for Lily, not for whatever this is, I replied, keeping my voice steady. Greg smirked, clearly enjoying himself. You know, it's funny. Amanda and I were just talking about how different your life must be now. Must be tough, huh? Chapter 3. The turning point. Their words strung, but I refused to let them see it. Instead, I focused on Lily, who was waiting patiently by the school entrance. Excuse me, I said, brushing past them. As I walked away, I could feel their eyes on me, their laughter echoing in my ears. But what they didn't know was that my life wasn't as bleak as they assumed. In fact, I had been quietly building something far greater than they could imagine. Chapter 4. The revelation. Later that day, I decided it was time to set the record straight. I reached out to my lawyer, who had been helping me finalize a major business deal, a deal that would change everything. The next time Amanda and Greg tried to ambush me, they wouldn't be smirking. Chapter 4. Rebuilding from the ground up. When Amanda left, she didn't just take their marriage with her. She left behind a life that felt incomplete and filled with uncertainty. But instead of letting the loss define him, the protagonist chose to rise above it. The divorce forced him to confront parts of himself he had ignored for years, pushing him to rediscover his strength and independence. His first focus was his daughter, Lily. Though she was too young to fully understand what had happened, he made it his mission to ensure she felt loved, supported, and secure. Their bond grew stronger as they spent weekends exploring parks, working on school projects, and sharing quiet moments over bedtime stories. She became the beacon of hope that guided him through the darkest times. But beyond fatherhood, he found himself drawn to a passion he had long set aside: entrepreneurship. With Amanda no longer by his side, he realized he was free to pursue the dreams he had shelved in favor of supporting hers. He spent months researching, planning, and networking, eventually launching a small business that aimed to make a difference in the community. Chapter 5. Professional triumphs. Though the early days were tough, the protagonist's grit paid off. The business grew steadily, gaining recognition for its integrity and innovation. What began as a modest venture evolved into a flourishing company, one that reflected his values and determination. He wasn't just rebuilding his financial stability, he was redefining what success meant to him. It wasn't about proving Amanda or Greg wrong, it was about finding fulfillment and becoming the best version of himself. With every milestone achieved, he felt a sense of pride that wasn't rooted in revenge, but in the knowledge that he was building a better future for Lily and himself. Chapter 6. Emotional growth. The divorce also led him to reflect on his relationships, both with Amanda and with himself. Therapy became a key part of his journey, helping him process the betrayal and understand the dynamics that had led to the breakdown of his marriage. Through counseling, he learned to set boundaries, communicate more effectively, and embrace his individuality. Gradually, he began to open himself up to the possibility of love again. Though hesitant at first, he found someone who appreciated him for who he was, not for his wealth, status, or role as a parent, but for his character. Their relationship brought a renewed sense of joy and companionship into his life. Chapter 7. A proud father. As Lily grew older, she became his greatest source of pride. Her resilience, kindness, and intelligence reflected the love and stability he had worked so hard to provide. Every school recital, soccer game, and late-night heart-to-heart reminded him of the importance of being present in her life. Through her, he learned that happiness wasn't about proving others wrong. It was about creating moments of meaning and connection. Amanda's betrayal may have hurt him, but it didn't define him. His daughter became the symbol of his triumph over adversity. Chapter 8. Rising above. By the time Amanda and Greg ambushed him at school, the protagonist's life had transformed completely. The smirks and taunts didn't matter anymore. He was no longer the person they left behind. His growth, personal, professional, and emotional, was a testament to his resilience. And while they may have tried to diminish him, their words only reflected their own insecurities.